Hey, if you popped over here expecting your regular 10 a.m. Wednesday live stream, well, we don't have that today. But, and here's the big but, if things go well, tomorrow 10 a.m. will be the live stream instead, and hopefully with a guest or two. Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is a different video. The live stream, like I said already, pushed to tomorrow, hopefully, assuming... I hope it's tomorrow, we'll see. We'll have at least one guest, possibly two, we'll figure all that out, but this is not that video. This video is a bit of gratitude and appreciation, and probably somewhere in the title and or thumbnail, the fact that this channel recently hit 10 million views. It's a large number. It's a large number, 10 million, and it's a number that I'm very grateful for in many senses. Honestly, I'll save you some time here. Let's break this video up into two parts. The first thing is, if you want to be entertained and potentially offended, depending on which direction this goes, but I apologize in advance, I will include a link down below to a video I did on gratitude 2 years ago that never went up. The reason it never went up is because of the fact that it was meant to be my Thanksgiving video in 2020, I believe, and it got cut off, and I lost half the video. And so I filmed something entirely different instead, and the video never went up. It's a good video, I think. I think it's worth watching, honestly. I do like the video. I will say the first minute has me singing, which is something I used to do on the channel, and I'm way too nervous to do anymore. Even this, I'm only willing to kind of tangentially link, because I know that only a few of you will actually make it there. The nature of YouTube is so many people pop it up in autoplay and this and that. There'll be a link in the description. If you want to see me sing for like a full minute plus, taking myself way too seriously, it's worth it. That's my gift to you, okay? And keep in mind, I cringe when I watch it. I was fine with the video never going up. But anyways, that's going to be one thing. And the rest of the video, by the way, I do think the rest of the video is worth watching too, separately. That's a different conversation. It's like 16 minutes, and then it just cuts off randomly in the middle as I'm in the middle of talking. So I decided to do that video today instead. A new approach to it, because it's been 2 years. I was debating redoing this Thanksgiving, but I'm just going to do it now because I had 10 million views on the channel, and I'm grateful for all of you, and I'm grateful for the position my life is in, and I'm constantly, frequently grateful, but I was grateful 2 years ago when I filmed that Thanksgiving video, and I'm grateful today now for everything that has been put in front of me by all of you, and I'm grateful for it. The rest of this video will be a whole bunch of soppy stuff about the people I'm grateful for, the things I'm grateful for, the stuff I'm grateful for, what I appreciate, all of those things, and so if that's not your speed, I get it. I really do. Later today we'll probably have an unboxing. That might be more your speed. I don't know which ones goes up. I have like 3 or 4 in the works right now. Either way, but I'm going to go ahead and dive into this. Because I've given all the warnings about the singing, about the gratitude, about the sappiness, about the happiness, about all the various things that will happen in this video. I'm grateful. 10 million is an insane number. It's an absolutely insane number, and it really represents a degree of a milestone of the fact that this is my job now. This is my career now. This is something that I actually am doing full time for the rest of my life now, or rest of my life is probably a stronger level of commitment than I need to say, for the unforeseeable future, for the indefinite future, one of those words. And I've been grateful the entire time. Again, if you watch the other video, you'll see that. And I've talked about it in the past, but this is a video. And I've probably talked about this before, and if I have, I apologize. Because whenever I say things like I'm grateful, like I'll get a few comments, very nice comments, I appreciate them, but like, oh my gosh, don't undersell yourself, Alex, like it's all the hard work you're putting in, it's not luck, it's not this, and it's not that, and I agree and disagree. I do think I work hard, I do think I really have spent a lot of time and effort on this channel, I do think that. But I think luck plays a part too, and I'm grateful for the fact that I and the channel and am in a position that this has all happened. Luck does play a part. There's a video from Veritasium, phenomenal YouTube channel, check him out. He does a lot of introspective content, very interesting things to talk about, and one video he has is the conversation around, is success luck or hard work? That's what the conversation is. Is success luck or hard work? And I'll save you the 25-minute video, although it's probably worth watching anyway. If you want, you could pause right now, watch the video so I don't spoil anything for you. And you're back. He basically says at the end of the 25 minutes, success is luck and hard work. And he uses a bunch of data points to prove his point, and I won't overly go into them. I will say it probably doesn't prove his point, but it's a good idea. It's a good representation of the fact that he points to multiple factors where you kind of have to say that clearly in many instances, success is luck and hard work. Luck alone won't do it, hard work alone won't do it. The combination of the two is often what determines success. And so I do think I've worked hard. I do think I've spent the past 2.5 years doing a video every single day, 10, 11 videos a week, and hustling as much as I possibly can, pushing myself when I possibly shouldn't, to be here. I also think that I'm lucky. I also think that I'm fortunate. I'm also grateful for every single person along the way who's been there. Whether temporarily, whether permanently, whether you found me at the beginning, whether you found me at the end, it's all part of the journey and the conversation. It's all part of what has enabled me to take a look at this and say, this is what I want to do for the unforeseeable future. I feel like that's the wrong word, unforeseeable future. And so I'm grateful to all of you. And I'm grateful to the circumstances. This was never supposed to be what my life was supposed to be. When I first started doing YouTube a long time ago, it was meant to promote Board Game Co., the retail operation, which by the time you're watching this is not sold yet, but like it's really, it's going through a process of where I'm taking it off my hands. I don't know how much longer it's going to be, but I know I've had talks with the potential investor this week to really try to accelerate the process. Longer conversations there. It's just not what I want to do with my life. Even though the YouTube channel was started to support that. But very quickly, once I started YouTube, very quickly I pivoted. The first 2-3 weeks of videos had, this video is brought to you by Board Game Co. Buy, sell, trade your way to a better collection. I had all those things as I tried to promote Board Game Co. But I like talking about games too much. Which shouldn't have been a surprise to me. That is what I like doing in general. I like talking about anything that I care about, and I care about games. And so games, amongst any other number of conversations, are something that I enjoy talking about. Again, if you watch the other video on gratitude, I'll go down multiple rabbit holes of conversations about how to be grateful, different things, writing gratitude journals. I like talking about anything. You pitch me a conversation, and I enjoy the conversation. But YouTube very quickly migrated from the original intent to me just having fun. And I still remember to this day, this was right before COVID hit. Right before COVID hit, I remember and I remember this because I was driving back from Toronto, from visiting my family. We were having this, it wasn't right before COVID hit, I'm sorry. It was as COVID was hitting and as people were talking about, do you think anything will go in lockdown? No, that's not happening in the US and Canada. That's not happening at all. And I just visited Toronto. And I was coming back and I was driving with my wife. And I remember saying, you know what, if this is something that I can do and it just makes us a few $1,000s a year, that would be well worth it. That'd be well worth it because I love what I'm doing. And extra money is extra money and it helps. Back then I had no idea that I'd be doing this full time. I knew what my goal was at the time. My goal was, if this can be a few $1,000s a year, it'll already be amazing and easy to justify because I love it. And I just want to do it. And so it's a different level of conversation today. It's a different level of conversation of where I am, and it's a different level of gratitude. But it's a sense of things have moved fast enough that I've yet to get to a point where I can forget where I've been, who I am, what I'm up to, and what I'm trying to do. Every time I go to a convention, I love interacting with people, with you, because of the fact that, I know how I feel. I know how I feel if I look up to somebody in some way. If I sit there and I say, Tom Vassel's there, or Rado's there, or whoever's there, somebody who I appreciate their content, and I would love to get up and, get a photo with them, and someone who I've watched them day in, day out to different degrees, I know how I feel, and so I'm still that person. Because it hasn't been long enough. I haven't spent the past 20 years in the spotlight. I spent the past year and a half in the spotlight. Spotlight's a relative term. It's a very small spotlight and a very niche hobby, but my point is, I know what I like. I know what I'm doing, and I'm every single day I'm grateful for what I can do. For the fact that I can talk about board games, the fact that I can play board games, the fact that I can touch prototypes and play prototypes and interact with companies who I valued in different ways. The fact that I went from, backing games from CMON and Mythic and Awakened Realms to covering games from CMON and Mythic and Awakened Realms. Those are things that haven't gotten old for me, and I hope they never do. I love the board game space. Something we'll talk about in, I think, a video tomorrow, actually. After the live stream, if there is a live stream, I'll be doing a different video and we'll talk about this briefly. But I've had other hobbies. I've had a lot of other hobbies. Watch tomorrow's videos to find out what they are. But none of them have stuck with me the way board games have. They've all lasted a short number of years. A year or 2 years, maybe 3. I think Magic the Gathering was 3 years. That was the longest otherwise. But right now what I like, and what I've liked for the past 11 years is board games. And I think part of that is the rotating cast of board games. It's never a single game that I can get tired of. It's not like I can like Gloomhaven, play it for 2 years, and then be like, okay, well, that was fun. Great. By the time Gloomhaven's done, you have Madara, and you have Tainted Grail, and you have any number of a million other games. Isis Vanguard is going to be coming out. We have Rove from the person who did Crimson Scales, from the designer who did Gloomhaven expansion Crimson Scales. It's There's so much content, so much games out there, and I enjoy the puzzle that each one provides, whether a light little party game, whether a fun little solo experience, whether a heavy economic Euro, whether an Ameritrash dungeon crawler. I like all of these genres. Not war games. I don't like war games. That's not true. I haven't played war games. War games don't appeal to me. Not word games, war games. War games don't appeal to me. For context, war games aren't like Memoir 44. War games are like chits on a map and like 15 pages of rules and weather and tips, and doesn't appeal to me. Might be amazing. I'm sure it is. People like them a lot. Doesn't appeal to me personally. Every other category of board games does. And so I'm grateful to everything. I'm grateful for the people. Probably most so. The people in different senses, because there's you, the people, the audience, the fact that I can do this, the fact that I can be here. I'm grateful to that to no end. Inherently, this only works as long as people keep watching. This stops working when people stop watching, and so every single person who's currently watching this video, every single patron over on, well, Patreon, every single person who in any way, shape, or form supports the channel, I'm grateful to them. To you. I'm grateful to the other people too. The people in my life. My wife, who's been incredibly supportive for the past 2.5 years as I tried doing this, like just incredibly supportive, incredibly. And like finally, I feel like finally having quit my job a few months ago, I finally feel in a position to like be able to be part's the wrong word, to be more present in a way that I wasn't as I sat there and juggled 3 jobs to make everything work. It was 3 jobs. My day job is Board Game Code Retail Operation, which again, hoping to get rid of that soon, and then YouTube. And now I'm just trying to focus on YouTube. I'm trying to grow that because I like it. And I have a lot of fun with it. And I'm grateful to the people I've met along the way. Any number of people, and I'm going to miss people here. I guarantee you. I'm going to rattle off a list of names and reasons why I'm grateful for different people in the space. But I will miss people. And I apologize in advance. It's not because I don't like you. It's because I didn't know the direction this video was going, and I didn't plan on listing people, so I didn't write down a list up front. So this is all from off-the-cuff memory. I'm going to start peripherally and work my way inwards, which is probably offensive to a degree, but I'm not going to worry about that at this point. Peripherally meaning I'm going to start with the people who have just collaborated in some way, shape, and form. Some way, shape, and form. And there's a lot, and I will miss some of you, and I apologize. But there's the Going Analog quiz show. I've been on that, really enjoy them. The phenomenal quiz show. They do a great job every single time. There's Sideroom Game LLC. I've done at least 2 videos with him, I believe. Probably should do more. Mackenzie's a great guy to talk to. There's, this is where I forget it. There's not, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of the channel. I'll come back to it. I'll circle back to it. I just gave them a shout out in a recent video. The Canadian, the cousins. Oh my gosh. It's like board something. I'll throw it down below. I've just did a shout out for the channel. I'm blanking on the name. This is the problem with doing content, is just hoping it all works out. And maybe I'll remember as we go through this. The Thinker Themer. I've done multiple videos with them and thoroughly enjoyed the addition they bring to the board game space. Their personalities are incredible. From the first time like I watched their videos until like, you know, Amy starting off and Maggie joining. Done phenomenal content. Broken Meeple. Did a few videos with Luke Hector. Phenomenal guy and a very critical voice in the space, which people often want, and I think it's good to watch critical content. And when I watch Luke's content, I don't get the sense that it's coming from anything other than he's just hard on games. I don't get the sense that it's dramatic for the sake of being dramatic. I don't get the sense that he's trying to go for a splash. I get the sense that he just is hard to please, and that makes him a good critical content creator to watch, to get content from. Tom Vassell. I did a video with Tom Vassell, the top 100 analytics for the Dice Tower top 100 analytics. Did that 2 years ago. I had a great time, and I appreciate him giving me the opportunity. I appreciate him having me on the channel. I've been watching Dice Tower for a very long time. I've appreciated Dice Tower's content for a very long time, and it was very, very cool for me. On a personal level, it was cool for me to be like in a video with Tom Vassell. Again, I haven't lost that. I haven't. I had the same feeling when I played a game with Eric Lang. I got to play Marvel United with Eric Lang. I was the trader, and I traded them, and I won. Like, to win, like, well, winning I don't care about, but to play Eric Lang in a game, to be the trader, to like not have anyone see it coming, it was very satisfying to me. Again, Blood Rage, one of my favorite games of all time. Many of Eric Lang's designs are amongst my favorite, and it was very, very cool for me to do that. Board Game Coffee. Some of the first collaborations I did were with Board Game Coffee. I've done multiple videos with them, and I'll do multiple more. They're in Canada. I get to visit them here and there when I visit. It's great. Room and Board. I've done 1 video with Room and Board? 2 videos with Room and Board, at least 2, maybe more, I don't know. If you count the straw figure me, then at least 3. And I'll be in more as well. I'm going to visit him again. I'll see him again. Hopefully he'll come visit us. I like Chris George, Room and Board. Great guy. Board Game Ramblings. It was great to interact with them as well. It's been a while. I need to do another video with them at some point, but I like their content. I've always appreciated and enjoyed their content, and I hope to be able to do more stuff with them. They are an absolute joy in the space. This is where I start falling apart and forgetting people. There's more. I know there's more, but I'm just trying to think through it. Sarah Shaw, Board Games in a Minute. Like, I did a few videos with her. She's great. Like, meeting her, interacting with her, getting to know her, becoming friends with her it was great. She's such a great person and a treat to talk to. And yeah, Sarah's great. Who else am I forgetting? I'm just trying to remember through the various collaborations I've done over the years, and I don't remember most of them, unfortunately. There's not most of them. I mean, I remember most of them. I don't remember some of them. There's podcasts too. I'm not heavily going on the podcast thing because I'm even less remembering of some of those, unfortunately. I've done a lot of collaborations with a lot of people. And again, if I forgot you, I apologize. I should have done a list beforehand. But, and then there's people I've met past that. And many people, and I haven't even gotten to publishers or contacts in different ways that have given me opportunities. There's a lot of publishers that I have become friends with, various people who work at different companies, like friends with them. And I appreciate the value they add to my life. I appreciate the relationships I have and the people. The fact that I can go to a convention and just have like a friendly face from so many people. It's so fun. It's just fun. That's what it is. And I appreciate those people. And then on a more closer personal level, I appreciate Quacklope, Jesse from Quacklope. He's the first real collaboration I've done. There's other peripheral things. I'm just realizing all the people I'm forgetting. The kind words heard from many. Like Rodney Smith has always been a phenomenally kind voice in many videos in many different ways and places and times. Supportive in so many different ways from this just his general outlook and view on life. I'm going to continue to forget people, and I'm not going to continue to interrupt myself to bring them back, so it is what it is at a certain point. But there's Jesse, Quacklope. I've been working with Jesse for a while, since like 5,000 subs, when I first did a video of like, top 10 YouTube channels I enjoy, and he reached out after I did that video. I put him on the list, and then we started collaborating. And before you know it, fast forward like a year and a half, but before you know it, he's now in Cleveland, living a block away from me, and we just get to hang out and do stuff all the time. Living a dream we once upon a time talked about and didn't think would actually happen. It took like a few jumps from where he was in Kentucky until he made his way here, but he did make his way here, and I appreciate having him nearby. I appreciate the support he gives to me and the support I can give to him, and I just appreciate who he is on so many different levels, in so many different ways, aspects that you don't necessarily always see. Like one thing, like he gets a lot of crap for being like, for taking money from publishers and being a spokesman, a salesperson to a degree. I've been next to him as he turned down checks after playing a game he didn't like. I've been next to him as he turned down very large checks for games that he did not think were fit to show his audience. It might seem easy to you to sit there and say, oh, it should be unbiased and this and that. I was with him as he sat there and he handed somebody $750 back to them. And he said, I appreciate it, but I do not think your game is good enough. After playing it, after putting in the time, after filming it, doing all of that, but he did not want to show, and multiple times, like that's not the only time, but like he has turned down money multiple times to not showcase a game he thought was bad. I know the perception, don't get me wrong. There's other people who I don't know who I'm not as friendly with. There's other people in the board game space who I see them taking money to showcase a game, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a preview channel, and sometimes some of them resonate with me more than others. Jesse I've always appreciated because I find that he has a flair of talking that it makes me feel the game more. And I can't speak for the others because I don't necessarily know them, but I can tell you I've been there as he turned down money for things. It's not a side that you always get to see, because we can't sit there as content creators. We'll always have people who don't like us. That's fine. Those people probably did not make their way 20 minutes into this video, so it's fine, but there will always be people in every corner of every space that don't like somebody. And that's not said resentfully. There are content creators I don't like. I just don't talk about it because I don't feel the need to. But there will always be people who don't like you. And we can't be defending ourselves 24/7. It's the nature of the game. We just can't be. We focus on the people who do value us. We focus on the people who do give us their time and attention. And we try to ignore those who aren't worth it. Try to. Not always succeeding. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard. But I'm not defending myself right now. I'm defending Jesse. He's more than most of you know. Some of you like him, some of you don't, and that's fine. But he's more than most of you know. He's an incredible person in many, many ways. There's Shira. Shira, who kind of started on my channel before becoming a trader and moving over to Quacklope's channel. But she was great. She played games with us for a long time. She was present and around to be another person on this channel and to do reviews and gameplays and different things at different times. This Devin Norse from Devin Talks Tabletop and from the Quacklope team and from Play the Game. Devin's a little bit in everything, and like I love having him on the channel, and most of you seem to as well. There's a few people who don't love the bro attitude he gives off, and I become a bit broy myself when I'm with him, but I love Devin. He's one of the sweetest people I know. He's an absolute sweetheart of a human being, an incredible person, and not just on a fun level, but on an actual who he is as a human being level. Again, this is the part where you don't necessarily know what's going on behind the scenes, but there are aspects of who Devin is that I'm not going to go into because it's not my business to share. But he is one of the best human beings I know. One of the best. From his character, from his personality, from who he is, from what he's done, from the things he's done. He is one of the best people I know. He's not just a funny guy on camera. He is a funny guy on camera too, though. I like Devin. I like his personality. I like him. I like everything about him. And it's been a treat to get to know him. I played a few live streamed games with him. We played Feed the Kraken. We played Into Deep in the other order. Into Deep, then Feed the Kraken. We then had one more game, which I can't remember what it was, but at least one more game before starting to talk and starting to get to know each other behind the scenes, and then developing a relationship and introducing him to Quackalope. So we started doing work with him there, bugging him to actually get his channel going before he finally did, and now he has a channel, Devin Talks Tabletop, doing phenomenally well. There's Professor Meg, the most recent addition to my crew of closer friends, but Professor Meg is someone that I got to meet through Jesse, through Quackalope, and then a few connection points, similar to Devin, you had a few connection points one at a time, and then just one thing leading to the next. But we met each other. We met at Jesse's, played a game there. Then we met at Gamma at a convention. Then we played Codenames Live with what's it called? Speaking of other people who I forgot, with Tim Riel. He does his Codenames Live over on Twitch, so he's another person I'm grateful for. And we played, so Meg and I played Codenames Live over there, and then we started deciding to just do Twitch content together, which was the result of a live stream where somebody else asked me to do Twitch content, and I was like, I don't know if I would do Twitch content. I don't really know much about it. And Meg's like, do you want to do Twitch content? And I was like, sure, let's do Twitch content. And so we started playing Gloomhaven. And that's a lot of time has been going towards there. I've really been dabbling heavily into Twitch, enjoying it a lot. Playing the things I'm anyways wanting to play, but doing so with people present, which just makes it feel more social. It's weird. Twitch content has kind of ruined solo gaming for me. Solo gaming used to be more fun. Now solo gaming makes me feel alone. Whereas solo gaming on Twitch makes me feel like I'm with others. So it's a different conversation. But I'm grateful for her in many ways, even the fact, and this is something that I've talked about in other videos, if I can find it here, but this pedal over here, which I will pull up a little bit, this pedal is something that I'm absolutely in love with, and I only have this because of Meg and Twitch content. Getting that for Twitch streaming so I can switch camera views, and then learning how to use it for my regular videos so I can switch camera views as I'm filming by tapping my little sewing pedal machine over here under there. It's been a time saver to no end, which is tremendously appreciated. I don't know if I'm forgetting others. There's West Todd, a phenomenal guy who started coming in to visit, hanging out with Jesse, with Shira, with Devin, me, with the Quacklope team, and just playing games, doing things. I can keep going. I could keep going. I had a slight focus of the way I'd approach this, of the various collaborations I've done, people in the space who've been kind in many different ways. I guess the takeaway is I'm grateful. I don't know if there's more takeaways. It's just that 10 million views is a big number. But it's not a number that means anything other than the fact that this is a real thing for me. This is my job. This is my life. And I love it. It may not always seem that way. Sometimes I'll be tired. Sometimes I'll push myself too hard. And the nature of this relationship, the nature of the back and forth is that sometimes that tiredness will carry over to you. But it's not that different than being at work when you think about it. When you're at work and your coworker has a better day and a worse day and your coworker's doing this or that, and some days they feel a little down and you talk to them and not. I don't know if you have friends at work. I've had friends at work, and I know that there's better and worse days in any work situation. And that's going to be true here. I push myself with great intent. I do. And I push myself because I don't like wasting time. I don't like the idea that, hey, I don't have a job now, so I'm just going to sit down and play board games all day. No, that's not my goal. My goal is to have commitments, to have goals, to have a schedule, to try to do things, to fit things into that schedule, to make things work. And that does mean sometimes I'll push myself a little harder than I should. It's doing so while playing games and going to conventions and doing all these things. Again, there's no lack of gratitude for the situation I'm in. But it does mean that sometimes I'll have days where I seem more stressed, more tense. Stressed is the word I went with instead of stressed or tense. And it does mean, especially if you're on Patreon. Patreon I'm like more open to. And so over on Patreon in my weekly videos behind the scenes, I'll be a little bit more like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling tired. A little bit more direct. There's a difference between being like work buddies and closer work buddies, I guess. And don't let it take away from anything. Don't let it take away from any idea of how much I enjoy what I'm doing, of how grateful I am for what I'm doing. It's just that I don't like hiding things. My goal isn't to put on a shiny face behind the camera and pretend everything's okay. My goal is to be transparent. If I'm feeling a little down, it might come through in the content. If I'm feeling a little up, it might come through in the content. I like the idea that this is, to some extent, a relationship. This is not just me talking to a camera. This is me talking to you. I've gotten worse at comments, by the way. Comments have really taken a hit. I still reply to comments, but I used to reply to a lot more. But when I fell behind, like months ago, and I started falling behind, it's something I never really fully got back up to. I still reply to dozens of comments a day, but I think there was a point where I was replying to 100 plus comments a day, and I think I'm probably close to like 30, 40 a day right now. I wish I had more time. I need to find more time. Time is one of those elusive things that we all want more of it, and we can never really have more of it. And so I'll say this, I'll end on this note, I guess. I'm grateful that the time I do have, however limited it might be, continuously is spent more and more on the things that I appreciate doing, on the things that add joy to my life, that spark joy, Con Marie style. This video started with the fact that I'm grateful. I have a full link to another video in which I'm grateful. You might not be after having watched it. And I think it'll end with the fact that I'm grateful. This is not the first or the last time I'll say it. There will always be opportunities, milestones I hit, whether it's points in time. I've been doing this for 3 years, for 5 years, whether it's hitting 100 million views, 50 million views, whether it's hitting 50,000 subscribers. There will always be points, that little milestones in life that remind me to consistently and continuously be grateful for the fact that I'm living out a childhood dream I never had. Because it's a childhood dream that I only got as an adult. And I never even got as an adult because who in their right mind as an adult thinks I get to take off and play board games all day? I certainly didn't. And yet I'm doing it. So thank you. Thank you to all of you for the fact that I'm able to be here doing this. I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And I really, truly hope you have a good one.